What's up, everybody? I'm Jessekazam. Welcome back to another Escape from Tarkov video. In this video, we're going to be diving into 12.7. It just came out. I put a solid 12-hour session in playing it, had an absolute blast. So we're going to be talking about what's here. We're going to be talking about what they've already changed, even just in the 24 hours it's been live, and how they've tinkered with it a little bit, how it feels, how it's good for the game, and why I think it's an absolutely phenomenal patch. At the end of the day, these are going to be my opinions, and it's totally okay if you hold different ones. I stream Escape from Tarkov on Twitch. All my links will be down below. If you like the video, please like and potentially subscribe for more content like this. If you like watching my YouTube videos, subscribing helps me out a lot. YouTube will probably continue to recommend them either way, but it's a huge help to me if you subscribe and like the videos. But with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive right in. So, in my opinion, 12.7 is a phenomenal patch, borderline a perfect patch for Escape from Tarkov. And starting with just the actual patch itself and how it was implemented. In the past, patch days have been plagued with issues of people not being able to access the game. If they say the game's going to be down for 4 hours, it might be down for 8 hours. Or if you close out of your game, now you can't get back into the game. Or if you click on the hideout, you're not able to, it crashes your game, or all sorts of stuff. The patch went smoothly. The game was down for less time than they originally said, which is awesome because they got the game up and running quicker. I had no problems right when they said that the game was live. I had absolutely no problems getting right into the game. And then another huge issue in previous patch days has been spending 30-40 minutes trying to get into a raid or get into a scav raid. I had absolutely no problems getting into any of my raids, even on customs, on shoreline, where everybody was going to be. Scav raids as well. So the patch went really smooth, and I think that we should acknowledge that, considering we've had much worse patch days in the past, and they've actually been progressively getting better. This past wipe was also a really good patch day. So they're moving in the right direction. They're learning a lot about their servers and buying more servers and how to prepare. And so it was a really flawless execution from that standpoint. Diving into the content, the first thing, the biggest thing, the thing I was most excited for was the customs expansion. And this is amazing. You can really tell that the more maps they develop, they learn from, they apply that to the new maps and stuff that they're going to do. I know this was technically a feature that was supposed to come out with the 12.5 wipe, and it got pushed back, but I'm, of the opinion that I'm okay with it being pushed back if it's perfect and it works. And the customs expansion is phenomenal. It's a huge addition to the map. They originally said it increases the map size by like 40%, and it really, really feels that way. Huge addition to the map. It's awesome. You've really got the reserve feels. Like reserve was a real big step forward, in my opinion, for their map design. Like it was really awesome, and they've applied a lot of those same techniques to the customs expansion. It's a whole different feel to the map, which I like. I like maps where I can get a different feeling depending on where I am. Long range, short range, close quarters. I like that you can kind of go through and get different vibes. And the new vibe on the new construction area is really cool. There's really awesome long sight lines, sniper positions, loot, great loot, but not so much loot. I don't think that you're going to see people hatchet run it or just pistol run it, just like nonstop loot farming. Like it feels like a good balance. New scav boss location, new extract. It's awesome, and it's huge. And it's going to, of course, everybody's going there now, right? It's the new fun thing, so everybody's just going to be running there. But I'm really excited to see over the next few weeks and months how the map just plays in the future, because now you're going to be able to traverse from one side of the map to the other. You can go all the way from the L or the elbow straight through the new area to old gas station. You can traverse the length of the map that way. You can go right down that middle road, all the way through under the bridge like you used to be able to do, and you can go behind dorms and to the left there, up the hill and the radar tower or whatever. And so now you can traverse the entire map from beginning to end, all these different ways. It's really gonna change the flow and how it feels. There's a lot less choke points on the map. So the customs expansion is awesome. I'm super excited to dive into that even more, but I had an absolute blast with that. The next thing was the Sanitar scav boss, which feels really good. I love scav bosses. Adding scav bosses to any map is just always going to increase the dynamic of the map, because you're not just rushing down PvP. You might be rushing down the scav boss for his loot. You might not expect him and find him there. The great thing about Sanitar is that he can spawn all over the map, the resort, the pier, or at customs. At the cottages. So that's nice because it pulls some of the PvP just away from the resort there. I like that a lot. Of course, once again, right now, everybody's no-lifing it, looking for him. I'm interested to see over the next few weeks and months how Shoreline plays. His goons have really good loot. His goons have always had class 5 armor as far as I'm concerned. They can have some of the stims. They can have cool stuff in their backpacks. They can have nice weapons, nice helmets. Sanitar himself does not have armor, so he can be easier to kill if you can get him. But what I have noticed from fighting them is that they're really aimbody. They're really quick to snap on you. They're really quick to move or run away. They're just fast. So you have to play them a specific way, you know, really being able to get the jump on them, break the lock with covert movement, or get those headshots, or have them charge you and funnel them into one of the cottages or something is going to be the way. If you just kind of rush them, especially out at the cottages where there's a lot of bush cover, they can be devastating. At the resort and at the pier where there's less bush cover, where it's easier to just like peek and see if they are there, or you can hear them and know where they are, it's going to be a little bit easier to take them down. But cool loot. Sanitar has 2 new keys he can spawn with, a single use key that you can use on labs to get a ton of stims, or a infinite use key that you can use to unlock a room on Shoreline, which is a new LEDX spawn as well. So that's cool. There's a reason to farm him to get these new keys. He's got a heap of new quests that circulate around him. The rewards aren't anything crazy. I imagine eventually some of them will be involved in getting the Kappa container. Right now, they're not. And from all the different traders, basically, will give you quests related to Shoreline or him or some way in that shape or form. So Sanitar's cool. Anytime they can add a scav boss to a map, in my opinion, is a good thing to bring dynamics to the map. The next thing, though, speaking of Sanitar, is all the new stims that come in the game with him and that he and his kind of goons can carry. The stims are really an interesting thing. I personally, and I've been very open about the fact that I love the stims. I think they're a great way to add some different elements of the game without super duper breaking the immersion, like stat buffs and stuff like that. I really like the stims. I think there's a lot of room to grow. I think there's definitely a few stims that are basically useless. And that's going to be the same here. There's 6 new stims. The 3 big ones are the Mule, the Meladin, or whatever it was called, and the P22. The Mule increases your carry weight by 50%, meaning you can carry like 115 kilograms of loot before getting the super overweight debuffs, which is insane. And that's for like 900 seconds, like a really long time. And then those other 2 stims reduce the damage taken by 20%, one for 60 seconds and one for much longer. The P22 is for 60 seconds, and the Meladin, or however that's pronounced, was much, much longer. Now, here's the thing with that and what BSG has already done. They've already nerfed those stims. So some of these stims were definitely OP. The Mule was instantly cheap on the flea market. When I started the day, it was like 60 to 80K, and it got down to like 25K per Mule stim on the flea market. There was absolutely no reason not to 1-1 in your container, because if you kill a bunch of people, you can fill up your backpacks and basically play Tarkov before the weight system. Fill up as much as you want, and you wouldn't be overweight, and you could just run around with your full stamina and everything. It was insane. There was no reason not to. Well, now they have nerfed that by saying for the same amount of time that you increase that carry weight, your damage taken increases by 9%. So now you are easier to kill. So I'm interested to see. I don't have a super hard opinion about that yet because I haven't played with it, but I like the fact that there's risk reward. There's a lot of reward with taking that stim, especially because it's so cheap and what it provides for you. I like the fact that there's a little bit of risk involved, especially since you're going to be popping that after a few fights. So you might be hurt. You might need to switch your armor out for your opponent's armor. It's definitely going to change how that feels, because now even just a scav running across a scav can kill you much easier with that 9% damage increase. So I'll be interested to see how they do that. And then with the other 2, they reduced the damage taken decrease from 20% to 10%. So you're not going to be as tanky, because what happened was there was a few videos rolling around with that 20% basically extra health pool. It doesn't work out exactly like that, but kind of. You could tank a headshot with no armor or helmet from most of the common caliber rounds, because it brought your head health up to like 44 or 45 or something like that. Now with the 10% increase, I'm really interested to see how that works, because if it puts your if it puts your head health pool at around 40, well then much more rounds, so many more rounds are going to be able to still one-tap that, but it might make TTK a little bit longer. It might make fights a little bit more dynamic and interesting. I'm interested. I definitely was of the opinion that that was a broken stat, especially in a game like Tarkov, where the consistency around being able to kill somebody, especially with headshots, was kind of a necessary thing. So I'm interested to see. But at the end of the day, my opinion is that I like that BSG took less than 24 hours to see what was going on. You know, we're testers of the game, see what was happening, and then make some small adjustments. So they may continue to do so. These stims might even change even more in the future. But I like that they're doing that. And I think both of them feel like they're in a better state now. Moving on from the stims, we've got 2 new weapons in the game. We've got the Mossberg shotgun. I suck with shotguns. They also fixed, this wasn't really in the patch notes, but shotguns were shooting basically in a ring or in a circle instead of a true spread. They made that much better as far as I understand. Shotguns, especially pump action shotguns, just suffer, you know what I mean, the fate of like, why use a pump action when you can use a semi-auto shotgun like a 153 or a Saiga? But it looks cool. It's not too crazy expensive as far as I can tell. And if you like shotguns, that can be pretty fun. And then the grenade launcher. This was another thing where people were really concerned with how this was going to work. I played for 12 hours yesterday, and I did not come across a single grenade launcher. They are barter only from Peacekeeper level 4. You need a VPX and 3 military circuit boards. Of course, the price of those things skyrocketed on the flea market, and you basically, if you wanted to barter for it, you would have to pay about 1 million rubles worth of stuff. And they can be found. A bunch of people said they found them in ground stashes and stuff like that. They were selling on the flea market for about 800 to 900,000 rubles. I am sure that the price of this will decrease over time, and then we'll get the true kind of experience on how popular they are. The blast radius, the distance, the arming range of these grenades, meaning you can't shoot them too close range. You know what I mean? If you push an enemy with one and he shoots one down at the ground, that grenade has not traveled far enough to explode yet, and it will not explode. So there are definitely ways to counter it. A huge thing for me is understanding that this is a secondary weapon. You know what I mean? Unless you're memeing, nobody's really going to be going in with just this. Of course, maybe, I'm sure right now Factory is full of people memeing around with them, but on these bigger maps, nobody's going to go in with just one of these. So we have to understand that this is a, you know, currently anywhere from a 500,000 to 1 million ruble weapon when you include the ammo, and it has to be on top of a kit. And if somebody's running in with a Chad kit, this is going to be like a 1.5 to 2 million ruble kit, including that. So there's going to be risk involved. It'll be interesting to see how it happens with maybe squads if one person has one. But it wasn't the noob tube. Everybody wasn't running around with one. And I'm interested to see how this flows. To be honest, I personally think it feels kind of cool. And I'll be interested to see. That opinion might change. Once again, the price might plummet and everybody starts running one. But we'll see. It's pretty cool. You can find the ammo all over. I was finding grenades for it pretty much all day, but I didn't find a single one or come across a single one. Those are the big things. We've got some other smaller things like the rework of the AI, which feels pretty cool. Scavs can now like wiggle at you and pick up weapons and stuff like that. That feels a little bit different. We also got a few more skills, the surgery skill and aim drill skill. The surgery skill seems to level relatively quickly, and it levels by performing surgery. I think after about 2 surgeries in a raid, you're hitting that diminishing returns as far as skill points, but obviously keep healing your limbs if you need to. But it'll be interesting to see how fast you can get a surgery done with that skill leveled up pretty high. And then aim drills, we're still figuring out how exactly that's leveled up, but it's going to increase your ADS speed and allow you to ADS and much steadier for maybe a second or two, even if you're hurt down the line there. So I haven't noticed any sort of huge performance hit to my game. A bunch of people were, full transparency, coming into chat saying, hey, have you noticed FPS drops? I have. I played all day and I did not notice anything. Maybe my FPS was slightly worse or whatever, and I just didn't notice, but I played all day and didn't really notice any of that. So the game feels really good, feels pretty normal as far as performance, as far as I'm concerned. So that's 12.7. That's the bulk of it. Like I said, man, this really feels like a perfect patch. It feels like they added content. They added stuff that feels really good. They changed the stuff really quickly that didn't feel good. They'll continue to watch and change. But everything about this patch really pushed Escape from Tarkov forward, in my opinion. I don't really know what more to ask for. Like we said, yes, technically the customs expansion was supposed to come with the wipe and it didn't. But I know that the game has been in a pretty precarious spot over the past few months with all the RMT and the cheating and, you know, the public perception of the game or whatever. But when you look on paper at, you know, 2 months ago, we got a wipe. A little while ago, we got a reserve expansion underground that added a ton of dynamics to that map, which was really cool that nobody was expecting. Now we got this patch, which has more dynamic stuff on Shoreline because of the scav boss. The customs expansion is better than I could have hoped for. So they really are pushing forward and pushing the game in a really cool spot, in my opinion. So I'm excited for the future. I'm excited for what's to come. But 12.7 really felt like a flawless kind of implementation of this patch from my perspective. So let me know down in the comments below what you feel. How do you feel about the grenade launcher? How do you feel about those new stims? What maybe were you hoping to come in 12.7 but didn't come? I'm super excited to see how this game continues to grow. Thanks as always for taking the time to check out this video. Like I said before, drop a like if you liked the video and think about subscribing for more content like this. I'm always trying to create content that helps shorten the learning curve of Tarkov and get you in your raids having fun as soon as possible. Like we said before, I do stream on Twitch. We also have a Discord, a very active Discord of people if you're looking for people to just run raids with, get a squad, ask some questions, get help with quests, anything like that. That link is down below as well. Thank you again for stopping by, and I will see y'all on the next one.